Welcome to Live Your Passion. I'm your host, Alex Stephen from Life Transforming Treasures. On Live Your Passion, our guests share their stories and challenges and how they embraced and overcame them. We are hoping that you can use some of their wisdoms to help you on your journey. I'm an author, speaker, and life transformation coach. Today, I have a guest. I usually have special guests and guests with interesting stories. Today I have a guest who is a wicked guest. And I'll introduce her. Her name is Lori Boyle, all the way from Cape Cod, and I'll let her introduce herself. Welcome, Lori.
Oh, thank you, Alex. It's so great to be here with you.
Yeah.
My name is Lori Boyle, and I live on Cape Cod right now. I'm a retired international airline pilot, and that was my dream growing up. And since I've retired, we've gone into television. I have a show called Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod. It's a talk show, and it is the premise is ordinary people who do extraordinary things, and we try to showcase interesting people. We also do cooking shows, and the cooking shows are 15 minutes long, quickie cooking for busy people, and that has been really fun. We've done quite a few of those. And now I'm here with Alex, who has become a good friend of mine through the other Wicked Housewife, Kat Canavas, who's the other host. And she was on his show about 2 years ago, I think. And now Alex is having me as a guest.
So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit, we spoke before, and I'm very impressed you being a pilot.
Oh, thank you.
I like to fly, but coach, not in the cockpit. But tell us a little bit how you came across, how you got hooked, so to speak, on flying.
Oh, yeah. I was in the 9th grade, and I was sitting next to another kid in one of my classes, my Spanish class, and he was telling me that he was taking flying lessons. And I was just astounded. I was like, you are? How can you do that? Are you old enough? And he says, oh yeah, we're old enough. So I went home and I told my father that that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go down and take a flying lesson. And it was pretty close to my birthday and my brother's birthday. Our birthdays are close together. So we both went up for a flight with a flight instructor, and I loved it. And when we got back down, my brother hated it. He threw up next to the airplane. He really hated it. And the instructor went over to my dad and said, she's a natural, she should pursue this. So I did pursue it.
And where was this?
This was at Beverly Airport.
In Massachusetts?
Yeah, in Massachusetts.
I know you live in California for some time.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so this was in Massachusetts, and you were in high school.
I was in high school, that's right, and I graduated. I got my private pilot's license before I graduated from high school.
Wow.
So my dad actually had to drive with me to my lessons, and then when I got to take the airplane up by myself, I still couldn't drive to the airport myself. My dad had to be in the car.
But you were
so
flying.
It was kind of funny,
It would have been good to fly to school, huh? Instead of driving.
That would have been okay.
That sounds fun. So, I mean, at that age in high school, before you graduated, you didn't even have a driver's license.
No, I didn't have a driver's license.
I mean, it might have very exhilarating to, you know, to do that and like it. And as the instructor said, you were natural.
Yeah.
But share with us a little bit some of the, you know, challenges you had. I mean, it was costly, I assume, to pay for lessons.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was.
Things like that. What it was, so people could understand. It wasn't just, okay, my dream and it fell on my lap. You had to work towards it. You had to follow that passion. And when obstacles came across, you had to find ways to overcome them. So share with us a little bit, you know, some of the things that happened as you were pursuing that dream.
Right. Well, the first thing that happened, I did get my private pilot's license before I graduated, but then it was time to go to college. And at that time, that was 1979, there were a lot of airline pilots on furlough from all of the airlines, and the economy was a little bit depressed, and there were no women flying for major airlines. So, you know, my father, my mother, and I had this little chat about that, and they decided that, you know, if you want to pursue it after you go to college, that's okay, but we think you should go to college, and not just go to college, but be something, you know. I couldn't just go to college and get like a liberal arts degree. They weren't going for that at all. I had to come out and be able to have a real job when I graduated, right. So I went to the University of Florida. I decided to go down there, and I got a degree in business and major in accounting. And I worked as an accountant for a while after I graduated. And then I was able to start, you know, paying back those student loans. And then I began to fly again, and things had changed. Actually, in 1979, the very first woman pilot was hired by Frontier Airline out in Denver. So Colorado. That very year that I graduated, she was hired. And so I did go back to flying. I did it part-time for a while. I got my licenses, and then when I got my certificate for an instructor, I started instructing, and then I was full-time again.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit when you were in high school, you know, when you started flying, how you paid for your lessons.
Oh, I had to get a job. I got a job down at, there was a little market. I went down there, and I told the manager that I needed money for my flying lessons, and could I have a job? And he gave me a job actually in the back office. I counted the money.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I balanced the registers, and I prepared the deposit and made the registers up for the very next morning. So
you had a job, you had a part-time job, you were going to school full-time, and you were taking flying lessons. So, and your dad and mom supported you in this venture?
They did, yeah. Yes, they did. And, you know, it never really dawned on me that, oh, you're a girl and you're flying. It just, they never said anything about that. No one ever said anything about it.
They always supported you.
They never said I couldn't do it, so I just assumed I could.
So you were enjoying it. You, like the instructor said, you were natural. You got your license before you graduated high school. You didn't even have your driver's license. I think that's funny. But your dream, you had a bigger dream. Once you started the flying, let's, you know, for lack of a better term, the bug got you, the flying bug. Your dream was to become a commercial pilot.
Yeah, to become a
So
commercial
how did people
pilot.
react to that? You know, where they say, oh yeah, it's not like a doctor, lawyer, you know, the standard accountant sort of thing. How did people react when you told them that was your dream?
You know what? I didn't tell anybody.
Okay.
And that's why, because I didn't want anyone to say, oh, what, are you kidding me? You can't do it, or whatever. I just didn't tell anybody. And I went back and I started flying again. Of course, my instructors knew me, and they supported me, and they were great.
Yeah.
Every instructor I've ever had has been really wonderful.
Right.
And I just didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody until I was ready to, you know, until I was ready to actually go full time.
Full time. Yeah. So you started in high school. Your parents said, okay, this is your dream, but You have to
Right.
get, something that I think as a parent, the motivation is really something to fall back on in case the
Right.
flying doesn't work. I think from a parent's perspective, that's where the parent is coming from.
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
I think they said it that way, but I think what they thought was this isn't going to happen.
It's not
and
going to happen. So
because there are no women doing it, and
Yeah.
there are no jobs.
Yeah.
So you can kind of forget that. But
yeah,
you can't give up on your dream.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I really didn't like accounting. I was. It was really disappointing to me not to be able to continue to fly and have to go to a college, a regular college, and not go to flight school.
yeah,
So, but as it turned out, when the airlines did start hiring, there was so much competition for the job that you had to have a 4-year college degree.
okay. So it worked
to
out
get,
good for
so
you.
it did, yeah, it did work out. However, those few years that I spent in accounting, like 6 or 7 years, was it was drudgery. I thought, God, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm never going to do it. You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, you went to Florida
I did.
to school, and you're doing accounting. Something you really didn't like, wasn't your passion.
No.
But in your heart, you had that passion to fly.
I did, but it was like buried for such a long
Buried
period
for a
of
long time, but not dead.
Right, right.
You could
It was,
revive it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But I did have to. I felt like that. I had to bury it because it
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen at that time. So
Right.
you were going to school, getting your degree, as your parents said, something
Right.
you didn't like. And I have the same major, business with
Accounting,
major
yeah.
in accounting and CPA, so I
Uh-huh.
know what you're talking about. But so you finished school, you started to work as an accountant.
I did, yes.
Something you didn't like, but you
Right.
did it. So, this is what I want the audience to hear. Sometimes you have to take a step backward
You do.
to go 2 steps forward. And because you had to go to school for a number of years to do something you didn't like, but to get a job, to get money, it's okay. It does not mean that your dream is dead.
Right. It felt like it at the time, though.
It did,
I mean, it was
yeah.
very. It was a little sad for me. It was depressing.
Yeah.
That I couldn't do that, and then I'm not sure when I actually decided. I guess when I had enough money. I also got married in the meantime, and
Right.
so that helped. My husband was in favor of me flying,
Okay.
so he helped me a lot. And I worked while I got my licenses, and then like I said, I started full time when I was
And this
an
was
instructor.
in Florida?
No, actually, this was in California.
Okay, so you
After-
moved to California.
I moved to
at that
California
time.
after I graduated from Florida. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started to work, making money so you could afford
Yes.
to pay for the lessons, and your
Right.
husband was supportive.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes,
You had
yes.
people supporting
So
you.
it
And
worked
one good
out.
thing you did, I think, not telling too much people about your dreams.
Right, because you don't want them to say, "Oh, what are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's no way you can do that," or whatever. And I just, I'm not sure why I didn't tell anybody, because, well, I didn't want that kind of reaction, but
Yeah.
also I just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to talk about it with anybody.
But-
And
but having
I think
s-
that was a good thing to do. I didn't
Yeah, at the
consciously
time.
do that. I didn't say
Yeah.
I'm never going to tell anybody. I just didn't.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you need help, there are people you will go to, like mentors, like your instructors.
Right.
Because
They were my
you really
mentors.
can't do it on your own all
No.
the time. But the thing is, you don't want to be telling people who don't support your dream,
Right.
call them dream bust.
Right, exactly.
And, that's a wicked thing.
Yeah, that's
But,
right. Debbie Downer.
Yeah, but you wanna like your parents supported you, your husband did, so that's a
Yes.
good thing. And you want mentors, you want people who already traveled that route, so to speak.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about some of the things you did. We know you worked, to pay for your lessons.
Right.
But some of the things you did, how your instructors supported you, what sort of communication you guys had to help you to get this commercial license.
I had a great instructor, and he was just super, and he loved being an instructor, and he was really excited about every student that he had, and everyone who was doing well and was going on to, you know, bigger and better things. Right. And he was very supportive. So really, I think it takes a lot to be an instructor, and you do have to support your student, because there's a lot of self-doubt. You know, are you sure I can do this without you? Yeah, you know, yeah. Without you sitting right next to me. So it helped a great deal to see other people who had gone on to the airlines, because once you get into doing it, you're the student, you have an instructor. He had friends who were in the airlines, and you know, and then at that time, it really helped to know other people who were doing what you wanted to do, and they would talk about, well, you have to get your resume out there, you have to have so many hours in this kind of flying, and so it was sort of easy to map out from there, because it was a matter of how many hours and what kind of flying you need. So you would just put yourself in those positions to get, like, you had to get a multi-engine license to fly the airplane with 2 or more engines, and you needed a lot of time in that kind of airplane. So the next step was, how do I get that time? Right. And so you set yourself up so you can. So
you had a good instructor, he helped you with that networking. Right. And, and I assume, even though it's your dream and your passion, and you feel all that exhilaration when you fly, there are going to be moments when you doubt yourself. You know, it happens to all of us.
Oh,
you
sure.
know, what if, you know, all that thing. So that's where your instructor came in as a guide, as somebody who could support you, and you could bounce your questions off
definitely.
of him.
Yeah, the
in
instructors.
In a safe space, so to speak.
Yes, yes, because they've been all through it, and you know, you have bad days out there, and you didn't get it right, and now you have to go out and do it again, and do it until you get it right. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, like anything, it takes a few tries. You're not going to be perfect the first time you go out there. So, but you get better.
You get better with practice.
You get better. You just keep
you don't want to make
practicing.
any mistakes up there.
No, and persistence, I think, is key. If you want to pursue something like this, you have to be persistent. That alone got me through so many things. I just wouldn't go away. You know, I wouldn't quit.
So what I see, you know, from your story, from what we're talking about, is a lot of persistence from high school, you know, and then you pick it up when you started to work. But in between there, you know, getting your degree, which helped you, because the time you came out with your commercial license, they required having a degree, right? So it helped you in that way. But, you know, I want to stress to the audience, that time that Lori had to put her dream on hold, that's patience. You know, you could have given up and said, look, this wouldn't happen, but you had the patience. So you're persistent, you had the patience, and you're following your passion.
Yeah.
And you know, you live your passion.
You do.
You got your commercial license.
I think it never goes away.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Even if you have to bury your passion for a while, or you have to do other things to make money that you're not passionate about, you just have to go to work every day. That's okay. It's still there. It's never going to go away, and you have to pay attention to it. Yeah, because it's not going away.
You got to find ways to make it happen.
To make it happen.
Yeah,
right?
Get the money, get the good instructor.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's good that happened to you, and your parents and husband supported you. That could be a challenge for some people. You don't have that type of support. And if you don't, like in Lori's case, you go out and find mentors, find people who could support you. But you were lucky in that way.
Yeah, so, I always say just start. You know, if there's something that you want to do, just start. Just, you know, even if it's just to Google it, or to, you know, find out a little more about it, because no matter what you're interested in, there's a whole group of people out there who are doing it already. Yeah. You know, there's a whole little society that loves whatever it is you love. Right. And you'll find them.
You'll find it. So you have to go out there and find it. Keep the passion alive.
Yeah.
Keep it alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got your commercial license. You got a job once you had your license.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit some of your experiences in flying. Now that you reach where you wanted to be, it took you some years.
It did, and it even took me some years from then to get to be, flying for the airlines. So what I did was I instructed for quite a while,
Right.
and then I got a job flying air ambulance, and that was where I got all the multi-engine time.
Okay.
Is I flew that airplane, and what we did was we worked mostly for Kaiser, which is a hospital out there, and we transported stable patients, like who had maybe broken their legs skiing, and we brought them back to their home. So we did that kind of thing, and I did that for a while, and then I got a job with United Express, the little twin turboprop and 19-passenger airplane, and I flew that for a few years, and then I went on to Polar Air Cargo, and I flew the 747 internationally for years, and I went out to Gemini. I flew the MD-11 for a few years internationally as well.
So it took you time. You got your practice. You put your time in.
Right. You have to. Yeah. You have to have so much time in your logbook. You have to have had certain multi-engine experience and crew experience and time at United Express. That helped a lot to get the next job. So. Right.
So that's good. I know when we were speaking, you spoke about a gentleman who came in one of your flights. You were gonna fly the plane, and I think he had some stripes or something, and he asked you.
Oh,
I think that was a funny story.
Oh yeah, I was on the. I was a pilot at United Express, and sometimes I would stand outside the airplane as people boarded, and one man said to me, "Where are your wings?" Because
your wings.
So, and I had my uniform on, but I also had a sweater on, and so you couldn't see my nameplate or the wings or whatever. And I told him, I pointed up to the airplane and said, "Well, there's one right there, and there's one on the other side." And he didn't think that was funny at all. But he got on the plane.
Yeah, well, he got on the plane.
He got on the plane, yeah, he did.
Probably didn't have any choice.
Well, if he wanted to go there, that's all he gets.
That's all it had,
That's all we've got. Funny. So, yeah, he wasn't too pleased, but he did get on the airplane. But I did see him, poking his head, looking at what we were doing, making sure. I don't know if he was a pilot, but he was wearing a leather jacket with different patches on it, like military patches on it. So he was military.
Was an experienced pilot.
Maybe he was. Yeah.
Any other stories you want to share with the audience?
Well, another guy, another passenger, said to me when we got to our destination and we were getting out of the airplane, he said to me, "I didn't know that the airline gives flying lessons." And I looked at him, I said, "They don't," and I had no idea what he was talking about. And it dawned on me later, it's like, oh, he doesn't think that I could be there unless I was taking lessons.
You couldn't be the pilot.
Right, exactly. So really the passengers give you some odd looks. And
but you had fun. You had
I did.
fun doing it.
It was really fun. It was
really
wonderful.
Fun.
Yeah, I went all over the world.
I was going to say you flew all over the world. Yeah, so that's I admire people like you all. I don't think I have the guts to go in front there. I'll sit in the back. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So great story, from your high school friend, and then taking it up, getting your license before you graduated high school, then putting your dreams on hold, being patient. But persistent, and then following your passion when you graduated and working, and then doing all the practice that you did to log the hours in, and then realizing. But it takes time. Sometimes it doesn't happen overnight, but you got to keep plugging away, and you really live your passion.
You do.
So that's good. Good stuff. Great story. But tell us now, I know you're retired from flying. now what are you doing? Wicked Housewives
Wicked
on
Housewives
Cape
on
Cod.
Cape Cod, that's right. We have
Yeah.
a TV show. And that came out of our friend, Kat
Yeah.
Canavas, who
Yeah.
wrote a book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, and she's a 3-time breast cancer survivor. So I was trying to find ways to get people to know that her book was out, and maybe a speaking engagement or whatever, a book signing. And so I stumbled across public access television. I had no idea that it even existed. I didn't even know what it was. But we went down to Dennisport, she and I, and we started taking all the lessons. You have to take like 5 different courses in order to do it. And then they said, well, you know, you can have your own show here. And they didn't say that because they thought we were going to be good or anything. They just said that because, you know, they need material, they need content for the TV. And, excuse me, Kat said yes right away. And I said, no way am I getting up there and doing that. But we did, and it became Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod.
And I've been on 2 of your shows as
Yes.
a guest, so pretty good, impressive studio, great show. And you also do a radio show.
I do. I have a radio show called Lori Boyle Radio, and you've been on that too.
Yeah.
And I also have a brand new show. It's on New Earth International, and it's actually a Skype show it's a live Skype show that feeds into YouTube, and then the audio plays live as well. That's brand new. I just did my first show last week.
Oh, with Sheila.
No, not with Sheila.
You
Kat,
did it with Kat, okay.
I did it with Kat,
Okay.
but it's actually Rachel Love,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
the producer on that.
Yeah, I've been on Sheila's show.
Oh, you
with
have?
Rachel. Yeah,
Oh.
I did a show a few
With
weeks
Sheila
ago.
and Kat?
With Sheila.
Oh, with Sheila. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah.
she has her own show
So
too.
she
And then-
contacted me and said, I've been trying to reach you for a long while. And then once she went through my information, she said, oh, you know Kat? So I said, yeah, a couple of years. She said, oh, I met her 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we're going to be doing a show together.
Right, yeah,
So she
they're
said,
doing a
small
show.
world. I said, yeah. She comes up to Cape Cod, and Sheila is in Washington. So I've been on her show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, Rachel is the producer.
Right, Rachel.
That-
Yeah,
that-
and she's
that-
up in Minnesota.
She's in
So
Minnesota
that's the
now.
great
I
thing
spoke to
about-
her last night. She's going
Yeah.
back to Oklahoma. So
Oh, she is?
yeah, she's going back.
She rides a motorcycle. She's going to
She's
ride her
gonna do
motorcycle down
cross-country
there.
this summer. Yeah. So small world, we in the same circles.
We are.
Yeah.
And the internet just has changed everything.
Yeah.
It's just made the world so much smaller.
Right. So in terms, you know, I know you're doing the radio show, you're doing and my wife has been on one of your radio
Yes,
shows, Raz.
yes. That's
And,
right.
You're doing the TV shows, speaking engagements, and
No, I really haven't done any speaking engagements.
but you're looking for those.
I wasn't-
With the,
I never thought about it, but maybe I should. I don't know.
yeah. So tell us a little bit. You know, some of the ways you've been through the journey of flying. Now you're
Yes.
doing radio, TV, and hopefully speaking. You know, share with the audience some of the ways you've given back by doing these type of activities. How you helping out? I know
Right.
the women's shelter and things like
Yes,
that. You've
we're
been involved
planning.
with.
Yeah, we're planning a fundraiser for the Cape Cod Women's Shelter, which is a battered women's shelter, and it's the only 24-hour shelter on Cape Cod. And we're going to have Alex as our keynote speaker,
Yeah.
and that's going to be in November. We don't have a date for that yet, but that'll be in November. And I guess, giving back is just doing the show. We don't get paid to do public access television, but it's nice to showcase people, ordinary people who do extraordinary things, because, we tend to look at sports figures and movie stars as our heroes these days, but really, there are people who are your friends, your family, people your neighbors, and they're the real heroes.
Yeah, the real
I think.
heroes. Yeah.
And their story needs to be told, and that's what I hope I'm doing with all the TV and radio.
Yeah, and you have some interesting guests on your shows, so they're sharing their stories, and you never know who you could help. I always say if you could help one person, your job is done.
Right.
So,
Yes, I think
so that's pretty
true.
good. So It's been great having you on the
you.
show. Thanks for coming. But I'd like to ask you if there's anything else you want to share with the audience, or any nuggets you'd like to leave with them to help them on this journey.
I would. I think one thing is just follow your passion, even if you have to put it aside for a while. It's always going to be there, so there's a reason that you need to do that. And be patient. You can be patient. I didn't think I wasn't patient. I was very impatient, but I learned to be patient to do it. So just start, just start. Just make one step toward it, and when you start doing that, then you see things change. You'll meet people who are willing to help you and willing to help you live your passion and follow your dream.
Yeah, and as Martin Luther King said, take one step of faith. You don't have to see the entire staircase.
That's right.
Yeah, just keep one step at a time, and you'll get
right there. And don't worry about a big plan of action or anything like that. Just take those steps toward what you want to do.
Yeah. So if people want to get in contact with you, how could they reach you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, my email is my name, Lori Boyle at rocketmail.com, ROCKET. And we have Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod if you want to see some of our radio show hosts, or we have a whole network of radio show hosts. I also have a column in Women's Voices magazine, and that's Raz was in there, Alex's wife. And that is womensvoicesmagazine.com. Kat is in there as well as many other columnists. So, yeah, I'd love to hear from anybody who would like to talk to me.
Yeah, so, this has been a great show. It's a show, Lori, talking about, finding your passion, being persistent, being patient, and sometimes it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time. And, thanks so much for sharing with the audience and coming here today. Really appreciate it, and it's been nice to have you. Yeah, and
thank you.
Before you go, I'd like to share one of my books with you. Our book, Courage in Our Hearts. All four of us in our family wrote it, a family's love story. So I'd like to give this to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And what I like to do on the shows is read the quote of the day. And let's see what the quote of the day is. Live your life and forget your age. Norman Vincent Peale. So, whatever your age is, live your passion, live your life. Forget about your age. And this is from my book, Inspirational Life Quotes. All my books are on Amazon, and we have 2 other books, Discover Your Inner Treasure and IP Goals Made Easy. So you could reach me at info@alexsteven.com, and I like to give a free gift I have on my website at alexsteven.com, which is 7 keys to your dream lifestyle. Thanks a lot for joining us, and see you next time.
The preceding was a production of Medfield TV, Community Shows.